Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Victor of Cars Jubilee, and today I'm going to take you on the Pixel Challenge. Let's get to it. One of the really cool features about the Ioniq 5 is the pixel theme. So how many pixels can you find on the Ioniq 5? So let's start it out just up front with the really cool looking pixels in the headlight assembly. Now if you look closely, there's probably hundreds of them in there. But again, that's a really cool looking feature. Next, we have the charge indicator here on the front bumper. I am charging right now, so that's why it's showing up. And as you may have noticed here, this panel, this whole front panel just under the hood is also pixels. Again, there's probably hundreds of them. And next we move on to the pixel themed 20-inch wheels. Now these are exclusive to the limited trim all-wheel drive model. If you don't have all-wheel drive and you don't have the limited trim, you're going to be getting the 19-inch, which look a little different. Moving up to the side mirrors, you can see our turn signal indicators are also pixel themed here. And then we move on to the door handles for the front driver and passenger. There's a little pixel sensor there for locking and unlocking. And then as we move around back, obviously these tail lights, definitely pixel themed. And we do have a third brake light up here. If you look really closely, you can kind of see they're pixel themed as well. Then moving down here, we have reflectors, and those look like pixels to me as well. And just below that, we have access to, I think, the tow hook area. Yeah, you should be able to connect the tow hook there. But this piece here, I would call that pixel themed. Now moving on to the trunk. There's a light back here. If you look at that light cover, you should see what looks like pixels. And we have the retractable cover for the trunk where it actually sits. These two here technically are pixels. Now that's probably just the design of it. I don't think they intentionally made it look like squares or pixels. That's just what it was. And then we also have these 5 little pixels here on the charge port door. And if I open up the charge port, there is a charge indicator here in pixels. And in fact, the close button is even more pixels. Moving on to the back seat, we have door sills here with Ioniq 5 and a bunch of pixels there. This is on every door. And in terms of the actual door panel, there is this Tyvek strip here with pixels going down. And this one I know is not in the SE trim. I'm not sure if it's in the SEL. And moving on inside, this next one here is really small. But this one's really cool. Usually it's just a line showing the center mark for the slider for the vent. But in this case, they put an actual tiny little pixel there. It was just a nice touch of attention to detail in terms of continuing that pixel theme everywhere. Then we also have this little net in the back. But if you stretch it out, very clearly, pixels. And that's also on the passenger seat. Right there. Then we move up to the driver's door panel. We have the child lock. There's an amber LED right there. Moving to the lock button. Also another amber LED there. Both are pixel themed. And then looking at these buttons, I would say these two definitely pixel themed as well. Then we have the steering wheel. Those 4 pixels. But if you look even closer at the actual finish, all around it's tiny little pixels. And then looking at the gear stalk, you should see 3 pixels with 2 little pixels in between. And then looking at the actual regen paddle, if you look at the design in the back, those are pixels as well. Then if we jump into the infotainment screen, you'll notice just pixel themes everywhere. Right now there's a flashing line underneath the radio station, but if I flip to my home screen, well, all the icons here are basically sitting on a square or a pixel. Here we have a pixel themed clock. And then when you go into Sounds of Nature, you see that strip of pixels going down the bottom. But basically they're buried all over the place in the infotainment screen. So I'm going to count the entire infotainment screen system as just one area. Another spot you may notice it is on the driver's display. That power and regen charge gauge, and also the miles per hour gauge. Those are tiny little pixels in the background. And we've got some amber LEDs that are pixel themed. We've got these buttons here that are squarish, and I'd say pixel themed as well. Moving on to the rear view mirror, we have home link buttons on the bottom, and those little squares are again pixels. And then moving down below, there's this rubber mat area next to the wireless charger. Those look like pixels to me. And then for the front driver and passenger seat, there's a strip of pixels along the actual seat back and the seat cushion. Another area where pixels are found are on the driver and passenger's seat controls. There's a couple of them here, and a couple of them on the circular lumbar support button. And then here's where things can get a little more controversial, but to me, I think they count. If you look at that headliner material, those look like pixels to me. And let's flip down our sun visor, and you look at that cover for the light. Those also look like pixels to me. And then we move on to some more of the fabrics. There's this fabric portion right next to the driver's display. Those look like pixels to me as well. And then if we move over a little bit to the left, there's this black soft touch, well, not soft touch. This is black plastic trim. Definitely pixels there. And in fact, if I actually move down to this section of door panel right above the speaker, take a quick look there. That fabric weave, that should look like pixels. And the last one, which I'm going to highlight, that might be controversial, is the fabric material on the back of the seats, and it's also along the door trim as well. If you look closely, to me, that looks like pixels. Then moving on to the climate control system. Amber LEDs, again, pixel themed. We also have the parking sensors, also pixel themed. And if you look closely at where the numbers show up in the climate system, they're showing up in what's essentially a square or a pixel. And then the very last one that's kind of hiding in plain sight is the speaker cover right here. Well, that was all the pixels that I could find in my car, but maybe I missed some. So let me know in the comment section below, which pixels did I miss and how many did you find total? And then we'll see who comes out on top. I do want to take a quick moment to say thank you to all of you for supporting my channel by subscribing, by just watching the videos, and also just commenting and being a part of this channel. Thank you all so much again for supporting it, and I look forward to growing it further with all of you. Now, I'm not exactly sure if I'll be posting any videos between Christmas or New Year's, and if I don't, well, I just wanted to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Hope you guys have just a wonderful time with family and friends and loved ones. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.